Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Days with Dan. If you're new here, I'm Dan, and I make content about comics, more specifically characters, stories, and worlds you probably haven't heard of or thought of yet. And if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. It is Wednesday, and we all know what Wednesday means. That means there is another episode of our favorite Obi-Wan Kenobi series today on Disney+. And with that being said, I thought we would dive back into Star Wars. And for this video, we are going to be looking at a more obscure character from the movie we all know as Attack of the Clones. We're going to be looking at this guy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is there any information on this random Jedi that tried to fight Count Dooku and got shot, I believe, 3 times with a blaster, deflected a couple of them, and then fell to his death? Yes. And we are going to be going into this character's origin and story leading up to his death, or what we know about him from Star Wars. So this Jedi goes by the name of Coleman Trevor. He was a male Verk Jedi Master who served as a member of the Jedi High Council before the Clone Wars. The Verk were a reptilian species that was native to the planet called Sembla. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Sometimes they were green, dark green, or had gray reptilian skin. It was thought that the Verk were very primitive, but they were actually highly empathetic and were skilled mediators. They had bony crests sitting atop their heads, and their head crest was a feature of the species and continued to grow throughout their lifetime. I believe another Verk in the Star Wars universe was part of the Senate. And they were fairly large creatures. Coleman Trebor was actually standing at around 7 feet tall. Coleman Trebor was the first and only of his species to be admitted into the Jedi Order. He then would earn a seat on the Jedi High Council after a separatist crisis, leading to the death of Jedi Master Yariel Poof, who can be seen here. Maybe I'll do a video on this guy coming up soon. After the death of Master Yariel Poof, our boy Coleman Trevor got a place on the High Council and was a Jedi Master. Once the Council, obviously, if you've seen Attack of the Clones, they learn about the Separatist force on the planet of Geonosis. They had to go help, and that's where our story sort of comes into place, or what we know about Coleman Trevor and his 2 minutes of fame. They lead a Jedi assault on the planet, and the first battle, what we could probably say of the Clone Wars, starts. And Coleman Trevor does his best to infiltrate the stands where Dooku and Jango Fett are residing. Jango Fett launches some blaster fire at him. Coleman Trevor does his best to block a couple of them, but ultimately would miss and then fall to his untimely death, and it is very sad, without Dooku giving him a second look. After the initial battle of the Clone Wars, and once things had settled down, the council seat of Coleman Trevor needed to be filled, and what is interesting about this, after his brief time on the council ended with his death, Master of the High Ground, Obi-Wan Kenobi, would take his position on the High Council. And that is where Coleman Trevor's story unfortunately ends. Like I said, there's not too much on him. I do believe there are more stories about him in Legends where he could be fleshed out a little more, but as far as canon goes, this is about all the information we have on him. Coleman Trevor was actually revered for his mediation skills and brought many difficult disputes to a harmonious end. He was very calm and had a lot of wisdom. So it's kind of funny that the negotiator would replace a Jedi who was seen as one of the best negotiators and mediators in the Jedi Order. He was apparently a very skilled lightsaber wielder as well, though you wouldn't be able to know that from his brief few minutes on screen fighting Jango Fett, where he could not deflect a couple of blaster bolts. And then Mace Windu had to come in and finish the job, and as we would ultimately come to know, Dooku would fall to Anakin, and thus the Star Wars saga would move forward. Overall, Coleman Trevor is a very interesting character. I think it would be cool to almost see him again fleshed out in more of the canon comics and series or whatever else like that. I know it's not much to go on, but we are seeing later on Tales of the Jedi, and maybe they'll flesh out some other characters that we have yet to see. Hopefully we see some characters like Plo Koon or Yariel Poof or Yaddle or even Coleman Trevor. Hopefully we get to see more obscure Jedi from Disney in the future. There are numerous Jedi that they could use in different stories, and I think it would be a lot more interesting if we could see more of these obscure Jedi coming to the forefront and sort of getting their own stories and seeing what else was happening in the galaxy at the time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. That is all for this video. I appreciate you guys staying to the end. I will see you next week with another video. Goodbye.